everyone. Welcome to the Steve Maxwell Drums Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on our website at www.maxwelldrums.com and then our reverb stores at Steve Maxwell Drums-Chicago and Steve Maxwell Drums-New York. We also have social media, 2 Instagram accounts, at Maxwell Drum Shop Chicagoland and then at Maxwell Drum Shop. And then also on Facebook, Steve Maxwell and Steve Maxwell Drum Shop. And then, of course, check us out on Twitter at Maxwell Drum Shop. We will interview players, collectors, drum and cymbal builders, and also teachers about all things percussion. And you can go to YouTube if you want to see the video. We'll have pictures of drum shops, of drum sets, badges, cymbals, all kinds of fun stuff. So let's get started. We hope you enjoy it. So 3, 2, 1. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Hey, it's good. Man, it's been a while since we've done this. I can't even remember. It's at least a month, maybe more.
So
much going on.
Right, this is kind of just a shop update, and it's the inaugural podcast for this new space. Technically I did one yesterday, but this is going to be the first one that I post.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to talk a little bit about the new space here. Dad, what do you think?
Yeah. No, this is great. We were running out of space, and we had 7,000 square feet already, and we were running out. And we were lucky enough to be able, in this same facility here, talk to the landlord, and they had another space, this space right here, and it's 4,000 square feet, and it's just warehouse space. But that's perfect because we got so much stuff in the other space. It's just getting crazy. And but when we looked at this space, we said, well, this is kind of cool. We can set up it's almost like a TV studio or a movie studio set. So I started thinking about what to do. I created a nice little hang for myself over there, complete with posters of Coltrane and Miles and a lava lamp and all kinds of crazy stuff. But and then we also created some backdrop sceneries here. I've got one, I posted some photos of what looks like a French cafe. We got another one that looks like an old wooden cabin. And then we decided to move the podcasting room over here, which I had some ideas on, but Stephen, you did all the rest. You got this all set up. And it's a permanent podcasting room, and we got all kind of cool stuff in here that a lot of which you can see in the photos here.
So I built this table, which was fun. You want to tell the history of the table?
This is really cool.
You.
There was a store going out of business that sold a bunch of it was a Pier 1 import. So we're going out of business, and they were selling shelving units and racks and rolling carts and everything. And they had 3 or 4 of these massive tabletops. This thing's like, I don't know, what is it, 8 feet by 4 feet? It's 4 by 8, like a big sheet of plywood. Weighs a ton. And these were like $400 or $500 when they had them. And they said, well, just take it. Take whatever you want. So I took this one, but it had no legs on it. So I said, well, this would be a cool table for something at some point in time, but there's no legs. So you fixed that.
Yeah, but the legs had to do a very unconventional way of mounting them on there because it's a strange table. It has like weird stuff under it, but yeah, it's really nice, good and solid. Yeah. So we got extra room now.
That's right.
And then these curtains up here, my wife actually made those, so we get to use them again. We used to use them as a background for the jam sessions, but now they're happy to be used over here. And then we got some other cool background things. So hopefully everyone appreciates the new space. A little sunlight too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great fun. Plus, we can leave it up permanently, and it doesn't encroach on floor space over in the showroom or anywhere else. So it'll be great. This is a funny space. This space has no air conditioning, and it has a heating system, which is fine. And we don't need it now, obviously, because it's the summertime. But when that heating system goes on, it's a crazy thing. It's got a big long tube along the top that the air flows through to distribute it everywhere. When that thing goes on, it scares the hell out of you because it's really noisy when it starts up and the air fills up the tubes. Yeah. But anyway,
you'll notice it's a little boomy in here. We're going to do more things to cut down on that. But we got these new mics, which are really fantastic.
Cool stuff. But to do a little catch up on what's been going on. So we've been real busy. Thankfully, it's been real busy here in Illinois and real busy in Nashville. New York is still coming up the curve. It's still tough out there, but, step at a time. Craviotto business is great. We got a lot of orders in the queue. So, it's good to see things opening back up again. I actually made the first trip in 16 months. Last trip I made was the February before COVID lockdown, which was 16 months ago. So last week I went down to Nashville. Got a chance to go back down because I hadn't been there in 16 months. And it was great to go down. Drove down, nice drive, and spent time there. We set up a booth at Summer NAMM, which, is very, very, very lightly attended. However, for us, it's great because we're right there in Nashville. So we set up a booth. We were the only drum manufacturer there, no cymbal manufacturers. It was small, intimate, but easy for us to do because it didn't really cost much. Just pay for the booth, and we're already down there. And we had people over at Crabiato. We did tours of the Craviotto facility, which is only a few minutes from downtown. And we had a nice Forks Day over at Forks Craviotto Day over at the Forks shop on Saturday, which was fun too. Had food trucks in. So we had a good time. And,
what kind of food trucks were there?
We had oh man, the food truck that we had was a barbecue food truck.
That must have been good.
Oh God, I mean, it's a really.
Mom
really,
was talking about that. She said it because she doesn't eat meat really, but she was like, "Oh, it smelled really good."
Oh, it's a really cool story. The guy who has this food truck, you really like stories like this. This guy worked in the heating and air conditioning for his whole life, and he always had this dream that he'd like to kind of do, like a food truck. He's really good at barbecue. He makes really good barbecue and his brisket and all this other stuff. And he was thinking, and the wife of our manager down there, Daniel Duche, his wife used to run a ballet school, and these people, their daughter used to go to the ballet school. She said they were such wonderful people, and he used to always talk about how he'd like to do something on his own. And one day he came in and he said to her, and he's probably, I'm 69. This guy's he's probably in his early 60s, so he's not a kid. But he came in and he said, I finally am going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm buying a truck and I'm going to do it. And he left the other gig and he's doing the food truck and he's doing well. And the food is like ridiculously good. So
nice.
I spent a lot of time talking to him. It was really, really fun. And it was nice story like that. The guy said, I said, if I don't do it now, I'm going to go through my whole life and get to the end and go, I should have done it. Yeah. So it was very, very cool. Just beautiful people. Nice to see.
I got a lot of good music fests down there that he can.
You
make a lot of money if you play your cards right. And get all the licenses and fill out the paperwork. But once you get there, if you have enough food, man, you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the food was off the rails.
I know this because I used to run food trucks.
Yes, you did. Yes, and you know how much hard work it can be as well.
Very hard work, but focus on the festivals. That's the day-to-day stuff isn't so good. The festivals are.
But the trip to Nashville was a little poignant in some ways because. July 15th right there, that was the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of Johnny's passing, Johnny Crabiato. And it's hard to believe 5 years have gone by. And, so it's a sad day in some respects, but in other respects it was, a proud and a happy day because we have spent a great deal of time, effort, talent, and money to migrate that operation from California to Nashville. And Sam Bacco was running it, and Sam was in a way, a disciple of Johnny's, knew Johnny well, and is a genius, as Johnny was, when it comes to manufacturing solid shell and ply shell drums, so in this case. So, it was good to see how far we've come in those 5 years since Johnny passed. It was nice to sit back and reflect on that. And also, Johnny would be very proud because Johnny also would be proud of how we have continued the legacy and added to the factory. We've moved it to a new location. We've spent significant amount of money on equipment. We have our own sawmill now. Brand new dust evacuation systems in there. Just anything and everything we need to be able to produce the product more efficiently and still retain the custom hands-on approach. It was great, and we. So it's a tricky thing. What we did in celebration of this, we are up to, and I'm very proud of this. Actually, I'm proud of it for Craviato because I didn't do any of this, but we built kit number 1,000, and that's a real milestone. Craviato, 2014 was the 10-year anniversary of Craviato, and so this is now another 7 years beyond that. But think about it. 1,000 solid shell drum sets have been made, and that's just really incredible. And kit number 1,000, Johnny had done some work with, of course, as you know, timeless timber from Lake Superior, wood that dates back to, the year 1400. And there was Bird's Eye and there was Birch. And we were fortunate enough to find some additional timeless timber birch. Johnny had never been able to do anything other than produce snares. We were able to produce one kit from the timeless birch. We'll do some snares, and that kit's a 13, 16, 18, 22 with a 6.5 snare, and that's kit number 1,000. So that's, I think it's a fitting tribute.
Wow. We're going to see pictures of that at some point?
Yeah, we are. It's down in Nashville. We had it over at the NAMM show, and we had it on display, of course, on Crabiato Day at Forks. And then I'm going back down to Nashville in a couple weeks, and I'm going to drive it back home with me. And then we will have it up here along with kit number 1.
Think we'll do a demo with that just for fun?
What I want to do is for you and I to go in the room and go, here's kit number 1, here's kit number 1,000. Talk a little bit about the time that passed between that day and the present day, and a little demo on the kit. I think that'd be great. So
I love it.
That'll be beautiful. So it's been fun, and we've been just working hard trying to get everything done and get back up to speed.
Is it a gloss kit or is it a satin kit?
Satin.
Satin.
Yeah,
I know birch.
Satin
I think there were some birches that were gloss. I know birch sounds just huge. It's a very, very
great. Yeah, great sound. I have not had the pleasure of actually playing this kit yet. We brought it. We got it finished in time. We brought it to the show, and the kit has not one inlay but 3 inlays on each drum. So Crabiato, for those of you who know, we have a very, very beautiful inlay around the center of the drums, and it's a very, very excruciatingly thin channel that's cut for that because that inlay is microscopically thin wood. Goes in there. On this particular kit...
Mom was talking about the inlays, too. She loved the process.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a very, very, very long process to get that done. It's labor-intensive. But this one has not one inlay around the center. It has our normal inlay around the center, and then there's an inlay above it and an inlay below it, all together, which are our private reserve inlay. So there's basically a triple inlay on each of the drums, and we even went so far, Sam even went so far as to do triple inlay on the bass drum hoops. So the kit it's off the rails, and being timeless birch, it's going to sound unbelievable. So I can't wait to bring it up here, put it in the studio.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
For sure.
Yeah. But, we're plugging away, still looking for good vintage stuff, and moving a good amount of it, and we're always looking for more.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool new videos coming up. I got another podcast I'm going to post, which is going to be of me and Joe. That's going to be the one actually that goes up after this one.
Joe Loma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From the drum show. And I'm sorry for everybody. I'm not putting up more podcasts. It's just a lot of work. And just for everyone who's watching, I put up the audio versions first. So if you want to just listen to our podcast, you don't want to wait for the YouTube version, because that's what takes forever, doing the video editing. If you go to Apple Podcast, we're on all the different. We go through Podbean. That's what we use, but we're on all the different Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to them, you can get it. So just FYI, look up. I think it's Steve Maxwell Drums.
You know better than I do. Yeah. I can't keep track of all this stuff.
I say it in the beginning in the intro, so but just FYI for everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, no, the one, you did one with Joe Loma, and some vintage folks know who Joe is, but some people don't, obviously. And Joe's a real good friend of ours, lives up in Minnesota, and he's a great vintage drum collector. And he's a hot ticket. He's a fun guy. Yeah. So that'll be a fun one to post.
It's a long one. Yeah, there's tons of cool. Yeah, he's just got all kinds of stories. So, and then we got other cool ones coming up too.
Well, yeah. Bill Ludwig III, B3, our friend. He came in yesterday. Yeah. And you did a nice podcast with him, and that'll be fun.
He's like royalty in the drum world.
Well, he's got the history. He's got the backstory for his dad, the chief, and his grandfather, the WFL senior. So cool stuff. That'll be fun. Bill's a good guy. It'll be fun to hear that podcast. I wasn't here when you were doing it, but it'll be cool to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
So what else can we talk about? This isn't going to be a long one, but I wanted to touch on maybe some other new stuff that we're doing. I'm not sure what we can bring up, but maybe. We've got today we're doing a video with some of those blue Ludwig kits, which is going to be really fun.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about that. We've got, Ludwig does some special finishes for us. We do rosemarine pearl. We also do glacier blue. And we've got those kits around our Reverb store. And we've done videos with rosemarine. We're doing one. We did one today for the glacier blue. We're going to do 2 more with different size kits. So we've got those.
Check that out. That'll be up by the time this gets up. So
yeah, those are great. The colors are great. And we also brought in some of the new Ludwig citrus mod, which I really, really am happy about. In the 60s into the 70s, Ludwig did psychedelic red, mod orange, and citrus mod. And citrus mod is the least available of any of those. It was introduced later in the line of psychedelic finishes and was only in the line for a couple years. So they're rare. But they did a really good job replicating that finish. It used to fade very badly, but they've gotten really good examples of it. And I got kit number 1 out of that was a Bop kit, 12, 14, 18 matching snare. So I have that, and that one's for me. But we've got some of those in stock. Those are really cool. We've also got some of the Ludwigs. They've got a really nice burgundy marine pearl. We've got kits in from the first round of that. They've also done some nice finishes, like a lacquer finish that's not a high gloss lacquer finish, but it's a beautiful, like high satin finish. There's a red we call Diablo Red.
Yeah, that kit's beautiful. That video's already up.
And there's another called Heritage Blue, which I don't have an example of. Heritage Green, I don't have an example of either. We have one down at Forks, and I saw it when I was there. And that Heritage Green is actually very much like a satin caddy green finish, kind of like the Gretsch finish in the 50s. It's really sharp. So those are some great things there. Craviotto, we've got the Diamond Series up and running that we introduced in January with the ply shells. Johnny always wanted to do a ply shell. Didn't have the right formula. Sam Bacco had created a ply shell formula, a unique one, and that is the formula we use for these. So these have been good. We just, for the NAMM show, we did what was called in the old days, called a salesman sample. And in proper today, it would be called a salesperson sample. But what they used to do back in the days in the 50s and 60s, there was no internet. So the salespeople who went around to visit the shops would take color swatches with them, or what they used to do is they'd make a snare drum in one band of each of the wraps that they offered. And there weren't that many. They had red sparkle,
My daughter
silver
would call
sparkle.
it rainbow.
Rainbow. Yeah. Red sparkle, silver sparkle, gold sparkle, blue
That
sparkle.
one's rainbow.
Yeah. Green sparkle, and white marine and black diamond. So you had about 7.
Sure.
And there'd be one strip on each of those, and they'd bring the drum. See, this is what the finish looks like.
Oh, did you guys make a Craviotto like that?
We made an entire Craviato kit like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, there's pictures of it. I'll show you. We took, and it was just ready for NAMM.
Probably
just
not a snare though, just the.
Well, actually, what we did was this, because on the Diamond Series we don't make ply snares. If somebody wants a snare, we'll make a solid shell. But what we did, Sam made a 10-12, 14-16 with a 12 by 22 bass out of the Diamond ply shells with each of the bands. So we've got burgundy sparkle. I got to remember the order: green sparkle, black sparkle, and then we've got gold sparkle, red sparkle, blue sparkle, silver sparkle. And then we repeated the pattern in the opposite direction going down. And it looks really cool. And then what he did was he made a 7 by 14 solid shell snare to go with it.
Okay, and it's got the wrap on it too.
And it's got it's wrapped exactly like that.
That's going to be
I posted that one up
one
on...
of a kind right
there. It is. I posted it on our Reverb store, and I only have one picture from the show, but I've got other pictures coming. But anyway,
cool.
I digress. But that was fun. That kit sold. We can build one like that, but that's a little bit more money because it's a lot of work. So we got that going, which is great. And one other thing I want to make a little nod to a friend of ours who passed, Arnie Lang. Morris Arnie Lang, who was a member of the New York Philharmonic for over 40 years, but to most of us is a person who ran Lang Percussion, and Arnie made for decades the replicas of the famous Billy Gladstone snare drums with 3-way tuning and all, which I've done many, many things on and sold many original Gladstones. There's not many to sell, but we've been blessed to be able to sell about a dozen of the 50 that exist. Arnie passed away, and it's an interesting thing. Arnie was just turned 90 years old, and Arnie is a great guy. He's sharp as a tack. I had just talked with him the week before, so I didn't know, what happened. And his wife called me the day after, and she said, and I think this is great. This gives you a sense of the character of who you're dealing with, and the youthfulness of who this person is. Now, Arnie, keep in mind, 90 years old. I said, well, Elizabeth, what happened? She said, well, Saturday, he went out at 6 o'clock to go down to get a pedicure. So, all right, so how cool is that? How many people that are in their 80s or 90s are, going, hey, I want to go out and get a pedicure. So so that's kind of a cool thing. Now, the unfortunate thing is he fell, he hit his head, he had some issues there with bleeding that couldn't be stopped. So he did pass away, which is unfortunate.
That's very, very sad. I got to tell the story. Last time he came to the drum show in Chicago, he was just selling stuff left and right. And we don't really sell stuff at the drum show. We buy stuff. And so it was really just impressive to see him. He would have been, like 86 or 7 at that show. It was a while ago. About 4 years ago, yeah. But yeah, and he's just moving. He's a little bit like Johnny in that he builds stuff, and he's really good at, at like selling his stuff and just making everyone aware of how great and unique it is. Yeah, and we still have some of his snares that
we still have a couple.
Like a white marine pearl one, I think. And
yeah, we sold that. That's good. But people are asking.
A couple others, yeah.
People have been asking, well, what's going to happen? And so we have our guys in New York. We're going to try to go over and see if we can help kind of sort things out over there. So we'll help his wife sort things out and see what we can do to maybe help out with that, because we like to keep that legacy intact, and so we'll just see what we can do.
Can't say anything for certain now, but
no, I don't know, but
they still have I also do you remember, Dad, when you took me to see him maybe like 30 or 25 years ago when we first went? I think it was
a long time ago,
probably Brooklyn.
You had a place. Yeah,
I was really young. So Arnie Lang, a great story about him. If you remember, about 25 years ago, something like that. You brought me over to New York, and we went to go see a bunch of shops. Yep. And I just have a really fond memory of going to Brooklyn and seeing his shop. And I thought the people in New York were really interesting because I just like the fashion styles and everything. And I remember going to this like coffee house on the corner, and I was like, wow, man, there were just some really, really unique kind of like, I guess you'd call it like super hipster styles. And this was probably in 2000, right around 2000.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
Yeah, just the end of the 90s. Yeah, because it was
pre 9/11.
It was before, because I remember, definitely before that.
Pre 9/11 for sure.
This is 90s, So Arnie will be missed. That's for sure.
He was a good guy, and like I said, we'll try to help sort things out because everything happened so suddenly, and so we'll try to help sort it out. But he was a good guy. I miss him, and he was a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, man, that's it. Live it to the fullest, right up to the end. You got to look at that and go, okay, that was a good run. He went out. It is what it is. But you got to say, okay, he enjoyed it right up to the end, and that's a great thing, and was productive right up till the end.
Right.
Week before that, he was talking to me about, Steve, I want to make a bop kit, and should I make it with a 12 by 14 floor tom? And I said, no, Arnie, don't. I said, and kind of half joking, I said, no self-respecting jazz player is going to want a 12 by 14. They want a 14 by 14, and there's already too many micro bop-ish kind of kits around with that, so that they can. I said, just make a normal.
They're hard to sell.
Just make a normal.
They stick around forever.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's just a little update.
Yeah.
And I think we touched on all the major points in the last about 6 months here, and things are getting back to normal. So I'll try and pump out as many of these as I can, because I know people really love them, and we love doing them. We got a space now that's easy to set up. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.